Damn, I should have went and got water. We didn't even take a break.
I sent out a broadcast message saying take 10 minutes.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
I saw that. I saw that.
See it at all.
We were deep
Oh,
in
good.
the-
You guys were
We've gone too
focused.
We've gone
Good.
too
You were all
far.
focused. So we're going to go ahead and start today. If we get to a good checkpoint, I might stop early so you guys can review what you guys came up with. But the first thing is I want to just get a splash screen going for the page. And then on Thursday, we'll actually review what you guys reviewed. So from now till Thursday, if you do want to meet up with your teammate or if you want to review the API a little more, if you got caught up in the weeds with the bug or anything like that, you got caught up in any way, you can definitely look into this more. The main goal of that whole thing is just to practice reading another bit of code to see what's there. So let's go ahead and open a folder.
Before you go any further, are you gonna go back to how you would install React? Because I'm not gonna lie, I actually
Yes, I'm not there yet. Yep. I have not started anything at all on this project yet. So you'll see that create React app process.
We did that so long ago, I forgot how to do it.
So parental MySQL main. So the first thing though is we got to get this working. So let's go ahead and open this up. All right, got this mains. Yeah, the very first thing we want to check, of course, authentication. Is there authentication? As you guys know, there is. We have security now because that was one of the bugs we had. We'll go into security. We'll take a look there first. We see, yep, we have user details services. Hello. What are you doing? Oh, you're building. Oh. All right, fine. Hold on
I said,
there.
wait.
IntelliJ do its thing. Being a drama queen. Come on, IntelliJ. Hurry up.
It's not going to eat all its RAM itself.
It had to do all this. Here we go. Source, main, Java, security. Looking at these items pretty straightforward. They look to be the same things we've done before, implementing our users and our authorities with the roles and stuff. So you can definitely check through that. See what I like to do is go to the web security config, as we heard before, and I just like to see what the routes are. Are there any free routes or any locked routes? What does that look like? Mostly because I need to make sure that for the front end, I use the free route for auth. What are they using? Are they using auth, login, authentication, security? What are they using? What is this client using for their opened auth URL? And is it maybe the homepage open for that? Do they have the root route open? Things like that. So those are things I'm looking for. Because this is not a web API, they wouldn't have the root route open because the API doesn't provide the home screen, the website does. So I wouldn't expect to see that, but it's always good to know what routes of the API do and do not need authentication. It can be nice to be aware of that. So in here we can see just auth and test is open. Everything else I need to be logged in. So that's good to know. If I get this running, I shouldn't try accessing any other models until I get an account. So that's probably the first thing I need to do is just create an account. But let's go ahead and take a look at the user role now to see what that entails. You see, okay, we got user and role. So you can see we have users. We can create a user. So we can get, well, not yet, I don't know that yet. But if I look at this quick, I can just see, yes, I have a username, a password, and then the role for that user. All right, so I do need that. Got it.
Cliff, before you
Yes.
go any further, because Leah asked me this and I actually don't know the answer because I'm
Go
not
for
very
it.
good with the auth. Can you explain fetch type.lazy?
Fetch type is just whether or not it goes down the chain to fetch additional information. So since this is connected to the user roles, we don't need it to populate all the details of this unless we dig deeper into it aggressively. So it will only pull that information when needed. So it just tells it not to load everything. It's a SQL system and JPA system. So it's saving bandwidth. 9 times out of 10, you want to use fetch type lazy with a many-to-many or any of them really. But it's not a huge deal if you forget about it. Yeah. You definitely don't want fetch type eager. Fetch type eager forces the system to pull as much data as it can. It can cause those nested issues we ran into at the point. Stuff. So we know that. We see we have the roles. So we check on that quick. We see with the e-roles, we have 4 different roles that we need to make sure we have in the database now. So because now for us, we are familiar with this authentication system. We've seen this before. So when I see these, I know, all right, I need to add these. Maybe there's a route to generate them. Maybe there's some logic to generate them. I can check, but no matter what, I do need to know that I need these items in the database before I am able to create an account. So I know how this works because I've used it before. Otherwise, again, yeah, if I didn't know that, I would then go to controllers and check for any of that kind of context. Would I see anything in the auth controller about creating roles or initializing the roles? Because there's no role controller. So I know there's nothing in the role controller that's going to create the roles. So maybe in the auth controller, I'll find that. So this is where I would look next for that. There we see sign in. We're expecting that one. That's a nice login screen. So we got sign in and sign up. So pretty straightforward. So what I'm going to do now, though, now that I see all this and I don't see a create roles, I'm going to go ahead and get the database hooked up so I can connect to it and I can make sure these roles are in there. So I can at least start pinging something. At the same point, I do know that the test system was a open routes, so I can also use that to test just does the application run at all. So if I go to the test controller, we do see we have these nice roles here. We have the all access right here. So I can just test this one to make sure that the application is running. So that's our first goal. Can I run this? Can I ping that in Postman? So two things I can do. One, I can just hit the run button and see what happens if I want. So I can go to the, where is it? Application controller.
Car rental application, the very bottom one.
That's where it is. Yep, there you are. Yep, there. Go here and then scroll down and click on the play button there so that it creates the configuration. Oh, nice. You had notes here for that. Interesting. Cool. Yep, expecting that. You got a communications link failure, which if anyone's familiar with that, that is what you commonly get when you can't connect to the database. Of course, you can scroll up higher to check on that and confirm it, but we are pretty confident. I'm pretty confident I know that that's what it is. I know that I didn't set up any database settings for this. See there, JDBC, communications link failure. So JDBC is our database system. So that tells us we're not connected to the database. We go to resources and application properties. Let's see what we require for our database. So we need a, that's the right URL. Yeah, that's right. We need a car rental database and a username of Map Mechanic and I fix this as our username and password. And love the JDBC secret of Dream DeLorean. Very car related.
It's on brand for me too.
Very much so. So let's go ahead and open up a terminal. Minimize some of these things, get them, clean up my screen a little bit. Minimize all this stuff. Yeah, I'll figure out all those are open for later. I probably don't need all those Finder screens, but whatever. New window. Go. All right. I still got to figure out why this isn't happening also. I need to make sure that I don't have to run this to get it working, but for the moment I haven't got that working yet. So it's whatever. All right. So here we are in MySQL. Anyone remember what the first thing we need to do is? What's the first thing we need to do?
Create a database?
Good, I was gonna say, it's a 50-50 chance, user or database first. Use database first. So,
Initiate database.
database. What was it called again?
Car rental.
Car rental.
Oh, nice and easy, cool. Car rental. That's
I was
it,
going
nice
to
and
tell you
simple.
before you hit enter.
Why?
No, I was going to tell you that you missed the.
Oh, the semicolon.
Yeah.
Yep, I always forget it. It's so easy to do, but I'm getting used to seeing that now. Car rental, we see that the database is there, so now we can create the user. That's on my head this time. User. Ooh, can I remember the name? Can I remember the syntax of this? This is the fun one. Oh,
Mechanic Mike. Oh, that was close.
ah, dang it. Hit the enter key. No, I think it was the @ sign, right? That sound familiar? Yeah. Create user.
At here.
What was it? Identify something like by, oh, the password thing is like, it's not just password. What was it?
You just said it, so
Identify? Identified?
close. Yeah, and identified.
Identified.
I, right?
Yes.
And the password.
Correct.
That was it.
To use localhost in place of the percentage then?
That's fine. Yeah, the localhost means you're restricted to localhost. The percent sign means any host. So that's why the percent sign is usually considered better. But yeah, if you don't do that, then yeah. The main thing is if you were to then decide to use like no IP or some sort of DNS system that gave your site an actual address, it wouldn't work on this user account wouldn't have access because that site would no longer be a localhost site. It would be a different site. So that's why the
For
percent
future
sign would
reference, I think your user should have been Bob the Builder if your password is I fixed this.
Pretty good.
It's not bad, but I don't think Bob the Builder fixes cars. Does he? I don't know. He probably does, actually. He fixes everything. Anyway.
I have comments,
So-
but I'll keep them to myself.
Good call.
You don't need Bob the Builder discourse tonight.
No, no. I don't know. Discourse.
Take it to Twitter where it belongs.
Oh,
I mean,
jeez.
he's Latino and he talks to his tools. You think he can't fix a car? Come on.
Grant all to
All he needs is that hammer and screwdriver.
percent grant all to that on
Little duct tape.
car rental. Does that look right?
Hold on.
You're missing something.
I
know
feel
you
like I
are.
am too. I just don't remember what.
Grant.
Oh, dot star, right?
oh,
Or
no,
it's
central
not
car
on.
rental.
It's not two, it's on.
You're
I hit the-
you're a little backwards. It's grant all on then the database dot tables to
two.
username at location.
Dot tables or dot star was it?
Dot star.
Well, yeah, dot star is for all
Star.
tables.
Yeah, I want that. So grant all on.
Quotes around the
car
database name. Yep.
rental. We can do quotes, yeah.
No
Maybe.
quote on that.
No quotes. Yeah.
No quotes on the
Yeah.
database name.
Dot star.
Yeah.
Two.
Two. That was it. I got it backwards. That's why I looked wrong. I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Yep.
Mechanic. Yet. Percent. Grant all on that to car mechanic. I think that's it, right?
That's it. Yep.
Nice. All right. So that should do it. So now we have the database, we have the user. Let's rerun the program.
And now we can pull.
Woo! We are connected. So now if we go to use car rental and show tables.
So that's how you change the database. Got it. I read that one. I
Use,
forgot that
yeah,
term, and I've been writing them down in my OneNote as I see them.
no worries. Good, good. Yep, use car rental. So use them, we're in it. Now we're going to use show tables, and we can see all the tables were now created. So now we can do the quick command of just adding all of our roles. So insert, let's see if you remember this one now. Insert,
Insert into.
put into
Role.
user. Not role, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, user roles.
Role. No, instance or role, you're right. User role is the
All right.
connector, is the many-to-many table, right?
You're right.
So you're good. Instance or role. Was it name equal?
Name.
Yeah. Yeah, name. I think that's on quotes, yeah. Name equal. And quotes again. And then what do you do with these? Let's see, let me blow back up again.
You're looking for roles?
E-roll, here we go. Role admin. I think that's right. Yeah. Nope, I messed up something. What did I
It's
mess
a
up again?
value name values, and then in parentheses is the
Yeah,
role
yeah.
as a string.
You're right. Yeah, I'm just gonna parentheses the items, so yeah, do that.
You don't need the
You
need an idea
parentheses
as well.
if it's only one.
Oh yeah, you're right. I only have one, so I don't need it. I'm just
Oh.
so used to putting them. Oop, I hit the enter key again.
Wait, so
Oh,
you
no, I hit
say
the
you
down
don't
arrow.
need the parentheses if there's
If
only
it's-
one?
Single item.
Yeah, single
Yeah,
item.
usually if there's only one item, you
Really?
don't need it.
Says it does or something. Hold on.
Don't you need to put a 1 next to role admin?
Not necessarily. The ID should be automatic.
So would this not make
Well-
sense to just put the parentheses in there, the comma, and then add all the rules all at the same time?
No, 'cause the comma I think is
They have
for
to be
multiple
correct.
values of different fields. So you'd have
This
field
is a
one,
single
field
line
two.
insert.
Yeah. I'm forgetting. There's something that's missing, and I can't remember what it was. What is it?
No quotes on name.
It was a name, but shouldn't be a problem. Is it values or value? No, that wasn't a problem.
I think you need
Should be
the
values.
Oh, no, it is values.
It is.
Oh.
I'm,
Insert into role name.
check again.
No, I think it's just insert into, you would usually have a where. Let me
I
double
don't
check
think you
that.
need
Not
the
with
quotes
insert,
on the
no.
name, right? There's no quotes.
Oh, Aaron
Name
put
has to
in,
be into parentheses and no quote.
No, because this has to be identified as a string. So this is definitely a string. I'm gonna try this quick. Values. That was it. You just need the parentheses around the table name too, or the column name. Sorry. So the column names also need the parentheses. So there's your role. There's your item. Insert into role parentheses column name closing parentheses values opening. I wonder, David, if you were thinking MySQL, that if you're thinking like SQL might not need the parentheses, MySQL might.
Okay, yeah.
It looks like Aridin has it in chat.
Well, I got mine working. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I just did. Yeah, I added the parentheses
never mind.
around the table name. Yep.
oh, didn't
Or
see
the
it.
column
Okay.
name. Sorry, the column name. Yeah. Do that. Let's go ahead and add the next one. I don't know why I deleted the whole thing, but whatever. It's too late now. Oh, I somehow disconnected from my MySQL. Why? Now I'm having trouble with my password. What the hell? Right. Let me just type this in 2 seconds ago. What's going on?
where he has
Oh,
insert
I'm caps
into,
locked.
where he has into role is the name of the column, correct?
Hold on
Well,
a
the
second.
table,
Let me
sorry,
back to it,
table.
Yeah.
Name
Yeah,
is
so-
the name of the column.
Yeah, name is name of the columns. Yeah. The table is normal. The column names must be in a parentheses and the values must be in a parentheses because you're giving it a list or you're giving it a collection of items, and for SQL collections are stored in parentheses, not brackets. Not square brackets like we used to.
Wait. Okay, so insert is a SQL command, and then into is then roll.
Insert into are
Roll
both
is-
SQL commands. Role is the table name.
Table name, that's what I
Yeah.
was looking
The
for.
next parentheses are your column names. Values is a SQL phrase, is a SQL key. And then the next parentheses is your collection of values that need to be lined up in the same order as your table names, and as your column names.
I'm
That's
making
so
up.
weird.
Hmm.
That you have to list it, because usually you can do without listing the column names as long as you do them in the right order for the values.
Not sure how to do that with that.
But that's SQL though. I'm
No, I was
thinking
thinking, yeah,
SQL, not
it's gonna be
MySQL.
SQL. Yeah, it's probably SQL. So yeah, use car repair.
Car rental.
Right. Worked. Good, we have it. Up arrows. Actually, I think that was one I wanted, but whatever. No, it isn't actually. Roll customer next. I should probably just copy paste actually, make sure I don't misspell it now that I think about it. Next one, roll employee. We got user, customer, employee, and mechanic. So, oh, admin, customer, employee, and mechanic, sorry. Let's see something on that. Come on, double quote, there we go. So again, just double check it, select star from roll, semicolon again, and we should see our 4 roles that we need. So now we have a valid database. We're gonna do quick first though, of course, is check to make sure we can hit that test URL. So again, open up a new window. Postman. Spaces, let's go ahead and create a new one.
If I do not mean to deter you, I know this is very distracting, but do you like Kool-Aid? Is that what Crimson Water is?
No, that's what they gave me.
Oh, I just had to know. It was driving me crazy to know why your name was that.
That is the random 2 words that Postman gave me for my instance.
Oh, yeah.
That has never crossed my mind at all. No, I'll never not think of that. You've ruined that name for me now. I'm just every time I type in Postman, I'm just gonna hear the Kool-Aid man. Damn it. That's the end. Turn this one public for you guys. It's gonna be there. All right, Nathan, thanks for the heads up. Why does a new workspace start in light mode? I'm blinded. I don't remember how I turned it to dark mode now. Dang it.
Cliff is the Crimson Tide.
Well, Alabama.
I'll fix it later.
Crimson
Alright.
Tide's a pretty bad, it's like it's red water. Was it the red tide?
That's also what the chant is for the Alabama university football team.
Yeah, but the red tide comes in Florida. It's bad. You don't go swimming in that. It's bad for you.
All right. Another collection. I want a new other thing. That button. There we go. Get. So we have our application running. So it's going to be 8080. So go on // localhost 8080 /API/test. And I believe that was all. That was it. /all. That's what it was. Let's test it. Public content. We have public content, and Matt is happy that it worked.
Incredibly happy.
This has been the massive test for him this entire time. It's like, don't break. Matt, it's okay for breaks. That means everyone gets to debug. It's a good thing. I'm actually okay for breaks. That turns this into a teaching experience. If it doesn't work, then I get no bonus teaching moments. So that's why I'm actually upset that no one else tried to share. Because like, it's not about your code being good or not. We need something to start with. So good job having it work. So I will give you that prop, of course. So I'll definitely take it. There we go. We have that. We can now test let's actually test the sign up. So if we go back to our application now, we go back to off for the model and go to user. Oh, sorry, not there. Controller, sorry. Controller off, that one. We look at sign up or sign up. Yep. We need a request body of sign up request. So if we see here, we probably need to go to payloads for that. Take a look at our requests, and there it is. So sign up request needs a username string, username password, and a set of roles. I'm seeing here that it doesn't seem like you set a default role. Did you, or does it? Or do I have to include the roles?
It's a good question. I don't know offhand.
I think that's under auth controller.
No, you don't have to include the role to sign up.
Da-da-da.
Should be a
Yeah,
switch-
line
a switch
76.
right down
Oh
the
yeah,
bottom.
if roles is null, it it sets it to customer.
Gotcha. I was looking for that. So let's see. Yeah, string roles null. Yep. Role find by username. Role customer. There it is. So there's the logic that does that. Yep. Yeah, this is just the things like we know we assume it's going to give us a role, but what did it do? And this is again where it's good to be able to find that code to let us know it does this. On one hand, yes, we could have just tested it, and if we couldn't find the code easily, we could test it, say, okay, so it does. So it definitely does. Let's go find the logic now. And then we could do that. So there's multiple ways to figure out an application, especially to get it running. But if you don't get it running, I could have came here and seen, oh, yep, no, if we don't give it a role, it does have it. So yeah, well, the sign up request doesn't default one. It just says it, whatever it is. Yes, the auth controller will say, oh, okay, well, if you have no roles, then I'll give you one to start. I'll give you the customer role. So go there. So that looks good. So let's go ahead and create our account. And we just need to do a username and password to create a nice customer. So who wants to be the customer?
Hey,
Sergio, nice. Awesome. Sign up. Nope, sign up. That's going to be a post request, if I remember correctly, but I'll double check that, of course. Post mapping. So we're good. We'll head over to the body, raw, JSON, bracket, string, so name. Go ahead and use an email. So sergio1@test.com.
it wasn't email.
What's that?
It wasn't email. I wasn't sure.
That's just what I'm tempted to use. We definitely don't have to unless you added the validation to it,
There is not.
which if I'm correct, I didn't see one. Yeah, see, no validation that has to be an email account. So
Got it. Yeah.
it doesn't have to be, but it's just nice to use that. And it's something that you probably do want to do, but it's fine.
I have one question because I'm
Go for
working
it.
on my project. Is there a validator for floats and stuff like that? For
I
numbers?
would imagine there is, but I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head. There's definitely a package with it. I just don't know the annotation of the package that would happen. But yeah,
Okay.
floats are a common number. So I would be surprised there isn't one. Because you definitely need to make sure that what you're getting is like, especially like money, for example. You need to make sure
Right.
it's a 2-digit deep. That's it. So yeah, there should be a validator for that. And even if they do give you more, you can just do what's called a floor or a cutoff. So again, I would never store money in floats. I can accept it as a float, but I would never store it as a float because we've already talked about imprecision. So even if the user gave it to me, I would then move the decimal over 2 places and lop off whatever else is left over. So I would still store the float in the database as an integer of just in coins. And this is something I can guarantee again, when you're looking on any website, whatever you're looking at for the price of something, while it shows you dollars and cents, I can guarantee it's stored in the database as cents. Because integer math is foolproof, decimal math is not. Decimal math is just so imprecise. And the way computers can screw it up is wonderful. So again, that's why, and again, I'll even talk about this more with the more recent systems. We all know about Bitcoin and Satoshis and like the tiny version, how deep a Bitcoin decimal point can be. But again, in all the systems in the code itself, and this is why the smallest form of Bitcoin actually has a name. The smallest unit of Bitcoin is actually called a Satoshi. It has that name because that's how they're stored and that's how you're sending stuff. If anyone would actually be involved in the Lightning Network, that's how they talk. Developers on the Lightning Network talk about sending Satoshis to each other. They don't say we're sending Bitcoin around, we're passing Bitcoin. It's like, I'm sending Satoshis. They talk in Satoshi. Multiple languages have this concept. Ada, so Cardano, they have Loveless. That's their smallest unit. Solana's smallest unit is Lamport. I can't remember Ethereum's. Dang it, I'll have to check that one out later. But I can't remember Ethereum's, but they all have a smallest unit because in the code, they do not use decimals to represent the actual crypto. They store them in their they store the information in their smallest form. That's why the smallest form must have a name. None of the items in between have to have a name. They can, but they don't. At least nothing official. The people might give them, but they don't actually have an official name for anything between the smallest and the official value. Imprecision is a pain in the butt. That's all you need to know. Do not store values in floats. Display them in float. Do not store them in float. And do not do math on float. We have a user account. So we registered. We'll switch it over quick to sign in. Send the same data over. And I got unauthorized. Did I do something wrong?
All right, good. That's the same thing that's happened to me.
Did I do
Nope.
something wrong?
Nope, probably not.
Your confidence in your code is astounding.
I'm real confident in it being nonsense.
So no one's been able to sign in yet?
No, how about, at least not me.
All right. So the first thing I'll do is check to see if the database does recognize that new user and do we have a hash password. So I'm going to go ahead and do select star from user. Users.
Didn't say that.
Oh. Yeah, that looks like it's saved. Take a look at the code.
Oh, I know why I did this again.
Uh-oh, what'd you do? You want us to take a look or do you want to just tell us?
I think I think I have this. Let me check real quick. Where is this in these curly brackets? Is that out?
I know what you did. Yep, I see it.
Yep. As I did this
Before you
in
say
my,
it, yep.
I did this in my last one too.
Yeah. Before you said it, can everybody look at this? So the problem is here in this register user method. Can someone find what the problem is? So we do go through and we do get back the user registered successfully message. So we are hitting this line of code. So go through this and see if we can find it. I'll do this quick and that way we can see more of the code. So there we go. See everything. This is the whole thing right here. It's a subtle item. I will say that. And the problem is Matt's now staring at it this entire time. He's just gonna be looking at that line right there. Like,
No, I'm fixing it on my end so that it doesn't irritate me.
got it.
That way there's some power in my control. So I'm not shaking angrily.
The problem for this one, yeah, is if depending on what you do, it'll actually will work.
I don't see him saving the password.
It's not about saving the password specifically. So the password is grabbed up here and it's set again. So I think, right? Well, I don't know about that. No, the whole thing is being saved.
Does he need a break after
Where?
default? After
Default's the
default?
last item, so that's gonna end anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Break just prevents you from rolling into the next one.
Huh,
So default
rolling.
doesn't need it.
Is it the mod role?
That's
under
what I was thinking.
employee on line 89,
Is it 89?
where he has role mod role?
Why?
Because I don't see.
You got admin role, mod role,
Because he
mech
doesn't
role,
have.
mech role.
Because
Okay, that part makes.
he doesn't have the E role moderator though.
Where? Here?
Oh, you're right. I don't.
Like there is no moderator. There's admin, customer, employee, and mechanic.
Yeah, but that's
Oh.
just a name.
Yeah.
That's just a variable name. I mean, he definitely
Yeah.
could have called that employee or
That's-
something like
yeah.
that, but
Yeah, that's definitely a bad variable name. Good catch. That's definitely a bad variable name. But
That's another
Yeah.
problem of copy pasta code.
yeah, that's why I tell you guys don't copy pasta. Type it out.
you roll.
I could do this and it would be the same code because it's just a variable name. It's just
Yeah.
just a box. So yeah. Well, it's not clean code because it definitely doesn't reflect the name that's here. It's not a problem though.
User dot set role.
So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a hint by doing something here. So let me go back quick. I'm gonna add myself for a second. So I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna go ahead and do a sign up. This is how I can prove that I know the error. So user name cliff1@test.com. Password.
I think it's that it doesn't ever set because he said if it's null, but it's never gonna have a role to start.
Roll or rolls? Rolls.
Roles.
Roles, yeah, and it's an array.
I'm gonna give myself role admin.
I don't think you put it in that format there. No, it's just a lowercase string.
The switches.
Yeah, the
Oh,
switch
admin.
case is just
Got
admin.
it. And then and also give myself a mechanic, which your item is mech. Got it. And that. Got that. And then if I go ahead and look at the database, that account exists.
Yes, good. All right.
So now take a look again and see if you can figure out why. Why when I give it roles, the account gets created, but if I don't give it roles, the account doesn't get created.
Because
Because
he's
it's set-
breaking before he saves it to the repository.
I would say he's breaking before he saves it to the repository, because all of these things happen, but all the breaks here happen before the save, right? Where else does he break? I'm not saying that you're, I want to say that you're wrong, but I don't think the terminology is not clear.
Line 107, what's roles?
107?
Yeah, where's that roles coming from?
Yeah, right here.
Let's up here to add that role there.
Yeah.
Set roles,
That's fine.
roles. Okay.
Because he created that up here, so it's scoped. It's fine. Yep. He created a blank role hash set for us to add roles to. You see
Oh,
here,
it's-
he does add it to the role. So he adds that role customer to the roles object here. Oh, wait, Travis, you think you see it?
I don't know, is it the repository? It's not the user
Yeah,
repository
it should be the state. Yeah, well, yeah. I was
on,
thinking
on 109?
Line
No, because again,
109.
we usually call the repository for this item repository, and so it seems like you did that, even though this is the auth controller. The user repository is repository.
Oh,
and the
yeah,
role repository
okay,
is the
all
role
right.
repository. So, good guess. No, that is accurate. And again, if that was the case, then the other one wouldn't have saved either. Because yeah, he doesn't have the.
I think it did it because of the fact that you gave it a role. And
Right.
he's saying if it's equal to null, then it never even runs any of that.
It doesn't run any of this stuff, right?
Correct.
Anything inside of this else, but it does run this code here. If my
Correct.
roles passed by the front end is null, this does happen. Why doesn't the account get created, even though it says user roles registered successfully? And the second I show you guys where this is now, you're going to get upset because it's not that bad. It's surprisingly simple.
It's such a simple, stupid thing, and I did it on my
Is it
personal
'cause it's not
Uh,
project.
else if?
Nope, that's fine. We don't need to check for it. We want this. We only want this code to run if we were provided roles. This is killing Matt.
I feel like it's right there.
It is. It is.
It is, but it's fine because it took me a long time to see it too.
And I will
so
tell you, Matt, that should help you feel better that you don't see that you didn't see it right away. That it's
Yeah.
not that obvious. So, and
Because
that's
none of
part
us
of what I
see
want to
it.
do here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he breaking out
That's-
too early?
Again, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by breaking out too early? Because we have these breaks up
Eliminate-
here, and these are just
eliminate-
breaking out of the switch.
Eliminate two of the breaks.
No, these just break out of the switch. Break will only break out of
Alright.
one curly bracket. So it's ending the switch and bringing us to the bottom of the switch.
Yeah, I broke out of the default switch, but
Yep.
I broke out of default, but you probably don't need to do that, but I did break out of that anyways.
Mhm. Again, this code won't affect a role that an account that's created that doesn't have a role. So just be aware of that. This code doesn't affect a sign up that
Oh.
does not pass roles to the backend.
Wait a second.
Yes, Jim?
109 is still wrong though, isn't it?
What do you
So
mean?
what about it?
It should be used, well, mine says user repository, his says
Yeah,
repository.
again, that's a variable
Oh,
name.
that's the same
Oh,
thing.
That's a variable
just
name.
Yeah,
yeah.
but where is user repository though?
It doesn't. It's just called repository.
Yeah, he
Oh,
called
that's
it
user
repository.
repository, okay.
Yeah,
It's just a name.
I thought
No, I
that,
know
but he
that, but-
scrolled up and he showed that. So
Same as mod role. Same thing as mod role.
So he's breaking out before he saves it, is what you're trying to say. But where is he breaking?
Yeah, what do you mean by that? Because yeah, that's a bad term to use the word breaking. He's not breaking out of it because the term break means you're using a break command to break out. To break out, you must be using a break command. That's not
So
what
he
it
needs
is.
to move lines 107 and 109 to inside so that it sets them
Well, inside where?
inside of above 105.
So inside the switch statement and have it occur on every single role that's been passed along.
No,
I don't think that's going to help our user that doesn't have a role.
No, that switch statement ends on 104.
Right, but I mean the switch statement does, but the for each code is inside.
True. Okay. No, that's right. I know it's that he's not saving. It's not saving because it's missing something. It's like
Yep.
it
You guys are
stops before it
so-
saves.
I
I
will
just
tell
don't
you-
know
Isn't
what it is.
Is
Travis?
that inside of the
So 104 and
statement?
105, yeah, they have to be moved up a line.
Not up. What was the who
Out
was
of
the John, right? It's inside
move
the
it
else statement,
down.
right? These are
Yes.
inside of the else branch. So
Oh, so they
if
need to
They're
be
only
moved
gonna
down
trigger if
one.
it's else.
they need to be outside the conditional.
That
it
is
happens-
so close.
Not, I don't think the, I don't think,
close.
I don't think
Oh, no,
set
not this
roles
one.
needs
Sorry.
to do
Yeah, not that one.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's already been
But
done
yeah,
here.
It's just one curly brace off.
Wait, no,
and-
it does. It does because you're
Yeah.
adding this to a roles, not adding it to the user record yet. So this needs to go down as well.
Yeah, that
does?
needs to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's-
Oh.
Otherwise, you're not going to set that customer role to it. You didn't add it to, so you added the user role to the roles set, but this role set hasn't been
Oh,
added to
okay.
the user yet. So now here is when you're
Right.
setting that role hash map table to the user, and then we save the user with that customer role. That was it.
All right.
It was just
Jeff wins.
inside
He
the
was
else
the
statement.
closest.
That's why I try
Sure,
to
you get a point.
avoid- That's why I try to avoid curly braces as much as possible to eliminate these errors.
That doesn't make any sense, though.
No, I'm just saying, like, no,
You need
more
them.
No, more with, like I say, if there's only like one line if statement or a for and X, where I don't have to put a curly brace in because this could cause problems. So
Well,
yes, you
yeah.
need curly braces here because you have more than one line.
Right.
That's one
Honestly,
thing.
again, but in my mind for that, I gotta go with the argument of without the curly brackets, though, it's gonna be easy for someone to accidentally unindent or if they have bad indentation practices, it doesn't benefit you. Then the code just looks crazy because it looks like nothing's nested. So curly brackets can be useful. Curly brackets can cause odd behaviors. But that's why sometimes a lot of times you just look and see where is this located? Is this where it belongs? And the main thing I was trying to hope you guys would realize is that we want to save and set roles regardless of whether or not the person it was sent with roles or not with roles. The main thing is that the user needs to be saved no matter what. So this was I was hoping that this line would be the easy one to see. This one was, as we see with Matt, this one's not as obvious, but this one was I was hoping with the obvious one because it was happening with this if statement. But here, you guys were you guys were always like right on top of it. You knew that something was wrong with this area because this code was working when we sent a role. But what you're missing was because this none of the code in between these two brackets runs. If this trigger hits, then we're done. And that's the main thing you have to be aware of. The problem we hit was that this never triggered. From right, if we don't provide a role, okay, so the main thing we would have to find out is, if this comes back as null, not as an empty bracket, not as an empty array. So the problem is, this would fail if we tried to do this. So this does have to be an else. You can't do this if you have a null. So that's the main thing to keep in mind. You can't do a for each on string roles if it's null. So yeah, so we would need to keep this as else. Unless you wanted to reassign that to an empty bracket, to an empty array. Then we can just remove this else statement and have this run anyway, have this be outside of an else. But main thing, this code was inside the else, so it only ran the set role and save during the else statement, which is why we still got this user registered successfully message because it still hit this line of code. It hit this line of code because the if ran and then skipped all the else. That's why we still were told it worked, even though it didn't. Subtle errors, and these are some of the most annoying ones. And again, this was very much what we like to call a logic error. No error messages, no tips, no advice, no assistance from the code whatsoever. It's like, hey, I did what you told me. You told me to only save it if they give me a role. Now we can test this back with Sergio. I think I kept saving. Yep, good. So we'll sign up with Sergio. We'll click send. User created successfully. Let's check it. Nope, I didn't rerun the program. Crazy. Not that, not run. There we go, get that back up. Oop, hello, double clicked. That button, start. So let's run it again now. And there, that took a little longer, so that feels good. And there we go. We now have Sergio and me are both in there. We have our accounts. Now let's go on to the real reason why we're here, and let's set up our React system. Now that we know we can at least use the application.
I'm sorry, can you just do a refresher on where is the exact link between the user for the authentication and the actual customer, or on this case, customer and the user? Where is the link for those?
Not sure what you mean. Like, how are they connected to their roles?
Like, yeah, like let's say someone is logging in on the website. They're going to use a user, but they are a customer, for instance. So how do you, is that the role that's just set for doing the connection?
Not sure exactly what you mean. Like, again,
You're talking about like controllers, like if a customer can only go to certain routes, or an admin can do certain things.
Aridin, are you muted again? Aridin, you're muted.
So for instance, the customer model has like a name, license number, and everything like that. How do you, where is the link between the customer model and the user for that customer?
So in Matt's system, everyone uses, I'm fairly confident, mechanic, user, customer, admin, they all use the customer model. So the customer model is a bit of a misnomer. This is also just kind of the profile model. So just be aware that this is technically the profile model, not necessarily the customer model. I'm fairly confident in that, right?
That was built long before we put the roles in, and I didn't go back and refactor.
Yeah, I figured. So his customer model is actually the profile model. And so in here, he could add other items, like he could add in that's what I'm looking for.
You could add a mechanic in there to have all the mechanic.
All the mechanic fields, and they'll just be null. If they're not, if they aren't a mechanic, they'll be null. If they are, the mechanic data will be filled in. Now, for more complex setups, of course, you can create a mechanic subclass or subentity. And so this will have a mechanic, a one-to-one profile to mechanic, a one-to-one profile to customer, a one-to-one profile to employee, and all the employee data will be in that entity. And so it'll be connected to it, and it will include that data, but it won't create a row in the database unless they are that item. And that's the difference between putting all the mechanic data under this entity, and all the employee data under this entity, and all the customer data under this entity.
No, okay. I think you didn't get it right, but line 31 to 34.
Yeah.
Is that all that you need to make the connection between the user and the customer on this case?
Yeah. Yep. Now, user to customer model is just a one, to the profile model is just a one-to-one connection. Yep.
Yeah, because that's like, I was not sure how to make that.
Yeah, just one-to-one, which we haven't done yet. So we haven't created the customer profile yet, which we can do later. I just want to make, we're already at 9/11, 9/11, right? 9/14 now. So I wanted to quickly do or at least get the create React app going so we can just see the home screen. So that on Thursday, we'll go ahead, we'll create the Sergio's profile, or my profile, one of ours, and then we'll actually start working on the front end. Main thing was just mainly all we were doing with the API was just confirming that we could communicate with it. Moving forward, all communication is going to go through the front end. We might just use the API Postman just to confirm what we need to send and what we're going to get back, so we can then modify our front end to do that. That's really all Postman is going to be doing for us, is letting us know how do we set up the front end. Just test it first to make sure we understand that endpoint so we can utilize it right in the front end. For now, let's go ahead and set that up now. Zip it out. There. Wrong button. That's not what I expected. There we go. Okay. So CD projects. 12 mkdir. Actually, I can't remember. I think create React app creates a folder. So npx, and so npx you will have as long as you have Node and npm, which you should all have by now since we've done React at least a little bit. Even if you're not good with React, you should already have this part there. If not, I don't have time today to do a tutorial on how to install Node and npm and npx. So if you need to, go ahead and find a tutorial on installing Node if you need that, or watch the previous video. But npx create React app. And if I remember correctly, we just give it the name of the app we want to create. I had some issues before because I had the old global installed version of it, so I no longer have that, which is good. Yay, awesome. I hate how I called our previous project demo. Here, minute, way. I thought I was just going to demonstrate stuff and then build a new project for our front end, but I'm like, you know what, let's just build it all in one. It's fine. Wrapping up now, I think. There it goes. Nice. LS quick, we'll see that we were, yeah, we are right there. So let's go ahead and CD expression. LS there, we'll see we have our README, node modules, package lock, all that stuff. Again, for me, I had set up the Visual Studio Code command line command. If you don't have that set up, you can just open the folder in Visual Studio Code. I'm just going to do code dot in order to open up that folder from the command line. Here, terminal, tilde, terminal quick, and we'll just go npm start. That's what I'm going to do, and I'll wait for everyone else to catch up in case your installer is taking a little longer.
This works this way, it's always going to work.
Wait, hold on. So
I still have problems with MPX. So
you
Mine didn't work.
yeah, can you go back for a second? Okay, so you
I ran the create React app
Oh.
and then CD into the folder that it creates. Make sure you do that.
okay, so
So-
you went to the location that you want.
Yep.
And then you ran the create, or you ran the create and then you CD'd.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. That's why.
Create React app will create a folder of the name. It will create a folder with the name of the project you gave it in the directory you are currently in on your terminal. But it does not CD or move you into that folder. So once you're done creating the app, you then have to go into that folder, then see it. And then from there, you run an npm start.
Hey, got it. Nice.
Nice. Good. Minutes, I'll give another minute, see if anyone else needs any more help. Try getting that.
So-
You should see
so
the
it's
spinning React
MP
logo.
So
X
it's MPX create React app with dashes.
with
in
dashes.
there.
Yep. And then a space. Then the name of the application
And then
Yeah.
you CD into it.
after it finishes. Yep.
Sorry.
But then, Sergio?
So MPX create React.
Yep. And the name of the application. And it will create a folder with this name. That's part of it. Once you see the term happy hacking, you're good to go. Yeah. Do that, express again. Down here, when you see the term happy hacking, you know it finished. And if you don't see that, don't do anything yet. Just wait for happy hacking. Once you hit happy hacking, you can ls to confirm that there is the folder with the name you gave it. You can cd into that, and then from there you can do your npm start. I like to open Visual Studio Code from there, but you technically don't have to open Visual Studio Code to do npm start. You just have to do npm start within the React project folder.
That's not working.
Take turns sharing the screen, people. Let's get these things working.
Work with you. Yeah, I looked up everything about MPX, but I still haven't got it to work under that. I just ended up using Yarn, and Yarn generates it for me.
That's fine, as long as you get it working.
Yeah,
You
but you know
kept the
what's weird
Fugu
though?
this entire time.
Yeah, I get the Fugu there. And what's weird is that I use Yarn, and then once I get Yarn going, I could still use NPN
Well,
to
yeah.
run the app still. So I was like, oh, okay.
You can also just use yarn the whole time. Yarn commands are not very different from
No.
npm command. So
No, I agree with that too, but it was just.
yeah, there are a lot of people who do think yarn is better. So,
So I wasn't Yarn developed by Facebook too?
yeah, that part I don't know.
And then I'm gonna.
Why are we in here? Okay, you're still in MySQL, by the way. You need to type exit.
That's the thing. Oh yeah, no, it's gonna.
You're not in the terminal. You're in MySQL.
Yeah, it's gonna close the whole thing.
Yeah. Don't need the semicolon, but it's fine.
You know,
You can just open Windows CLI and do it in the CLI, or just Git Bash if you want to do it in Git Bash.
that's right.
Or Visual Studio.
Yeah, if you could just do it in,
Multiple
Yeah, so-
options.
just navigate to whatever folder you want to.
Yeah, where do you put your React projects? I have a projects folder, but where, no, not your Java projects. Where do you put your React projects?
That's right. Give me a second.
Personally, I just have a projects folder.
This one's already, so maybe I put it
Yeah,
inside.
he's browsing on another monitor on us. We don't know what he's doing.
I'm sorry. I think I have,
It's all right. You're just hiding all your folders. It's fine.
I can't remember.
Well-
But I guess I'm gonna create another one then. Just and then my documents.
Oh.
I'm just gonna.
You're just been putting everything there. That's dangerous to do.
What?
Well, I would just, like I said, I would just create a project folder. So in your terminal there, correct your terminal,
Right here.
do cd dot dot. No, not yet, not yet. I thought you got into, I thought you went into the idea projects. I would just do make directory. So back, kill that, all that. Yeah, I thought you had actually gone into the idea projects folder. Sorry. So you're in your root directory now. I would just do mkdr. Make dir.
Yeah, make dir.
Yep, and then space projects. This is just, yeah, this is my non-Java projects, my, yeah. Just hit enter.
Put it here, like in my users, I guess.
Where's that
Yeah,
gonna
put
put
it
you?
in
Is that
there.
gonna put it on your desktop?
No, it puts it in here. He's right. It's gonna put it in
Yeah.
there.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to see if I did this before, but.
That
no.
way it's in the same location as your idea projects, in the same area,
Yeah,
just it's a
Okay.
separate folder to separate your Java from your JavaScript.
I'll just make it.
So, yep. Projects, CD into it now.
Oh, there it is.
Whoops. Here we
Small
go.
P. Yep. And then from here, again, I have a CH12 project because I have a lot of stuff I'm doing, but since this is all yours, you don't need a CH12 project folder. So here I'll just do the npx react command now. So do that npx command,
NPX.
not M, N, node.
And not node.
Yep, node project, node package execute, dashes. Yep, there you go.
React. App,
Mhm.
and then what I
Name
name
of
my project,
Yeah, we call it Expression, car rental, whatever you want to call it. So,
I call it Greco rental, so that's what it is.
got it.
And that's it. Then I should just see this painting and then,
So as long as you see the stuff happening, you should be good. I'll have to catch up, but that's fine. It looks like it's actually processing, so I'll let it process for a bit. Go ahead and stop sharing. Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
So let that go. Let us know if anything goes wrong, but we have to keep moving because we're already getting close to time. Yeah, kill it. Anyone else have a problem? Good. All right. My screen. So all we're gonna do today, though, is I'm gonna walk you through the other packages that we use with our React projects. So in package JSON, we have our dependencies. What I'm gonna give you is kind of the standard dependencies you want to have for these. Now, you could type them here, but the better thing is to do is to enter them through the terminal. So I'm gonna kill our run app. I'm gonna make this bigger so you guys can see better. There we go. And again, one thing I can say is once you have this list, do not be afraid to come back to a previous project to get this list. It is fine, and I've done that before where I'm like, what's the name of that package again? I'm gonna go back to a previous project to pull it up. So it's not a bad thing to go to a previous project to know what the names of the packages you want, you like, and you use if you can't
They're
remember.
called packages.
Yes, node package manager, that's npm. Yep. These are called packages. Yep. So the first one we're going to go ahead and add is Axios. Axios.
So
We'll start with that one first. But the cool thing is we can add multiple by just putting spaces in between. So Axios is the first one. We're going to bring in our .env that allows us to do environment variables via a file. Oh no, we didn't actually end up using that, did we? No, we didn't. So never mind. That doesn't work on React. I wanted it to, but it didn't work. So it's fine.
Does
No, it didn't, because again, it's server, it's client side. So
Oh.
yeah, we installed it to test for OpenShift. That wasn't where we wanted to do it, so it's fine. So there's those two, and then that's really the only one you guys actually need for basic React benefits. I'm going to show you these ones as well, though, at font awesome slash font. Actually, you know what? I don't like typing this one, so I never actually type it. I always copy it from somewhere. So first, npm I Axios. Do that one first. Now you got one of two options. You can either copy the font awesome packages from another package.json file of a previous package of a previous project you've used, or just go to font awesome, just type in font awesome React, and they will give you the install command. There already leave? Yep, he left. I think it's say goodbye. So if you would go away for a second.
The only
soon.
question I have to ask about copy and pasting from the previous projects is the update of the
Updated,
version
yeah.
that
They
you're
might
getting.
update. Yep, they might update. What I meant though is to copy the name of it and then paste it into an npm I command. So you wouldn't actually copy paste from package.json to package.json.
Yeah.
You would just copy the name. So using this project as an example, I could install Axios by doing this. Copy this,
Okay.
then do an npm I, paste that name in there. That way it always updates, it always brings in the most recent version.
Right, but if I were to copy all that and paste in it, I would just do an npm update and update.
Right.
the
Well,
version.
that's it. If you actually look at our previous project, where we're currently still on Axios 26, 0.26.0, sorry, 24. So our previous, our Geeky Likes app is still using Axios 0.24.0. And now it's 0.26.0.
Can I ask you a question? So
Go for
I
it.
have written down in my notes, npm I react dash router dash dom. Is that part of the packages? Forgot to, we were doing it quick, so I wrote the command down.
No, you're right. We do need that one too. I forgot that React DOM is there, but not React Router DOM. Maybe we do want React Router. You're right. I React. I did forget that one. But that would have been fun when I tried to use one of the React Router tools. Yep. I'm like, you don't have this. Like, God damn it.
Sorry, I gotta install it.
So
You're right on that one. That one's good. And yeah, React Router DOM. Our Geeky Likes is using 6.2.1. We now have 6.2.2, but as we know from our previous lesson on these, this should this should prove no issues with our code. It should change nothing.
So
what we're
that-
used to.
the React dash dom, that's a default, correct?
Yeah, that allows the React system to interact with the browser DOM naturally, just the browser's DOM. This allows it to use to interact with the router and affect the DOM based on the router. That's all. Let's do this. That's awesome. React. First option there. And here they are. As long as you have these three, you have enough to do what you need to do. So these three are all you need. So just copy this quick, paste it in, enter, and they'll get you the last three. This is the minimum you need to start building a React app. There's so many more you can get. There's a lot of packages out there for React. React is a very widely used browser nowadays. Browser library nowadays. So a framework. So there's a lot of packages now out for it that provide a lot of useful tools. I've used a infinite scroller. So instead of using pagination, where you scroll down, you click left and right arrows and get those buttons, which there is most likely a package for that as well. There is a concept where you can preload where your pages are actually generated by scrolling. So as you scroll down, as you get close to the end, React will detect that you're close to the end and initiate an API call to get more data automatically for you. So there's a bunch of packages out there. There are form packages to make nicer forms, to make different, like select drop-down menus. So there's a ton of things you can do to make your front-end sites look better. So do be aware of that. If you're trying to think of something that's really, really fancy, that's going to take a lot of time to develop because you want to try something fancy, see if there's a package for it and just read, and most of them right on the README, right on that right front-end page, you can read how to use it. So for example, I'll pull something up, some notes quick. This up. That over here for a second. Here, no, not that one. That one. Here we go. Yeah, just reactive from scroller. Just for example, that one I just mentioned. React. Scroller is the one I used, right? Again, on that. I tend to not read here. I tend to just go to GitHub, but even then you can see the README here. They show you, you can install it, how to use, you just bring in the component, infinite scroll, and they show you how to use it. Page start, load more, you give it a function that actually triggers when they go to load more, it'll trigger this function. You can give it a state that has more true or false to whether or not it should do it. And you can also give it a loader component to show a spinner icon. And then this is just the items that you've loaded. So the function that does our map function that we do. So they're pretty straightforward in how to use a basic version of it. And so really just going through these items, you can learn about how to use these packages. And a lot of the good packages out there have really good descriptive instruction on how to use it and how you can even dig a little deeper into making it more intensive, like is reversed, it's going to reverse items. So people could be loaded from when they scroll up instead of scroll down, which is an interesting concept. There's a lot of things you can do with these things. And that's what's really, really cool about them. And the more you know about these items, the more you can even go into the code that you download from these packages. You could fork them and add more features, potentially to make this thing a horizontal infinite scroller if you wanted to. So there's a lot you can do the more you know about this stuff. again, unless you're going to be a front-end developer, don't worry so much about customizing them. Just know how, just make sure you can use them. And instead of recreating the wheel, feel free to grab these things. I'm now, no, the more I think about it though, I'm kind of sad that I did show this because I'm afraid some of you will be like, "Ooh, I need to add this to my system." Don't. Pagination's fine. If you can add this quick, go for it. But that means you need to have pagination on your backend too. If your backend doesn't handle pagination, do not deal with this. So you do need pagination enabled already in your backend, so that you're only loading a chunk of data at a time. Yep. Grab
Can
those.
you give us the terminal commands to add Axios and the router DOM again?
Oh, sure. It's just npm I and then the name of the item. So I'll
Okay,
tell
no
you
quotes
again.
or anything.
Nah. So
Okay, thank you.
only need quotes if there's spaces, which they should not be doing that. If they're doing that, they're a bad package namer. It would be npm I Axios and React. Type that, that'll work. That's it. You do it in one line. Those, yeah, we now have everything we need. So that's all we need in order to get our system started. So on Thursday now, we'll actually start creating some components and we'll start actually modifying this to now update our system. We'll add in our basic router. We'll add in our item. Ooh, last thing I'll say though, we can also bring in our common folder. So again, you guys can grab this from my system you need or grab it from the previous application. We'll do here quick is under source, new folder, components. Here, I'm just gonna drag over from our previous program. Where is that? There it is. So you guys can see what I'm doing. So from our previous demo, our Gee Likes program, I'm just gonna take this common folder right here. I'm gonna go ahead and copy it. I'm just gonna paste it into components. That's it. These are my common components that I've used on a regular basis. I bring them with me everywhere. And so that way, and then that's why I say again, if you create any components that my file comment too, for my file also wants to, copy, paste. Or you just might paste it in the wrong spot. We'll see. Oh, good, okay. So these common folders follow me for every React application I make. Anytime I'm making a React application, these folders come with me. They are full of my common standard components that I use that are very, very familiar, that are very useful to have. So that is how, and that's how I get ready to do a React application. That's it. From this point, now anything I'm adding is unique to the site. But we'll go over the basic components of what a React application is, what it contains, what it entails.
So under components, that's where you drag your comment folder to?
Yep.
Okay.
These are common components. Yeah, everything in React is a component. That's the main thing you want to remember.
Okay.
Everything in Java is an object. Everything in React is a component. All right. So yeah, on Thursday we'll actually start going over again some of the key terms of R for React again. We'll create some basic items again. And this one we'll start with the login system in the beginning this time. So in the last time we started with building a lot of the stuff first, then added authentication. This time we'll start with auth first. All right. Cool. Make sure for you guys that you can log in and create accounts on your version of Matt's app. So make sure you fix the thing we found together. So you can create an account and log in, you get your authentication token on Postman, because that's what we're going to be building on Thursday. We're going to build our authentication system into the Expressing app first. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Again, take advantage of this. If you haven't started the front end for your project yet, start working on that now. So get your Create React app for your front app now. Bring in the packages, bring in the common components. Again, you can download the most recent version of my Geeky Likes app if you need those common folders again. If you don't have them yourself, so you can get the most up-to-date version of them. Any questions? All right,
Not right now.
we'll cut it then. 10 minutes over. It's fine. I'll see everybody on tomorrow for algorithm day.
Yep.
Link lists. Remember, if you haven't finished those up yet, start working on those again for tomorrow. We'll have a couple minutes in class you guys can work on too.
And if you find a bug in car rental, let me know. I'll patch it.
There you go.
Open source code. Yuck.
If you find one, I'll only let you give him the bug fix if you actually do figure out how to do pull requests, because you guys should get credit for it. So clone his repo, make a change, and push a pull request to it.
Cool, yeah.
Figure
If
out how
I
to do
add a
that.
feature,
That would definitely require a pull request, because you should definitely get credit for that.
all right. Good night,
Yep.
guys.
Good
Night.
night, everyone.
Night,
night.
everybody.
Everyone.
Really quick, let me see one thing. Can I do this? Like I have the, hold on, give me a second.
Hit him with the fugu.
I have the Greco rental thing open, but I
Yep.
have your old, can I just pull the folder from right here? Hold on. The components, can I just? grab
Sure.
this?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you can. I've never done it, but you try it. Yeah, components.
Components.
Yep. And you're doing this on Windows versus Mac, so I don't know what capability it has for drag and drop. You can try it. Just I'm worried. I'm worried that hold on. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stop. You are not dragging everything. You only want the common stuff.
Oops.
Hold on. Back up again.
well,
You do want the common folder.
Just the one folder.
Yeah,
that
you
they're
copy
inside
all
of.
11 folders. You just want the common folder. There you go.
There you go. Just drag that.
Have that.
Alright,
Now, before you do it,
it.
I want to mention what I was trying to say is Windows's default behavior is to move things, not to copy. So if you drag and drop that into this project, Windows tends to move
right.
them, not copy them. And so your Geeky Likes app will no longer work because you'll be missing components. So what I would recommend is to right click on that and click copy.
Good call.
Yeah. This is my familiarity with Windows. Windows likes to move, not copy paste. So right click, then paste.
Nope, you can't.
Suck.
You
Then
can do
what's
it
called a
inside.
right click drag. Do a right click drag.
You can right click drag?
Yes. When you let
What?
go, it opens a drop down menu.
Okay, hold on, let me
No
just back up.
way.
Components, yes.
Yeah, I use that for shortcuts a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna copy.
Whoa.
We are blowing Matt's mind tonight.
I grew up.
But do it again with the, hold on, do it again with the FA components as well, the FA common. So go back to that folder. There's another folder called FA common,
common?
which is the font awesome. Yeah, the font awesome common folder. Same thing.
Right click it, copy right here.
Yeah.
So you have the
Whoa.
common and fat common.
Yep.
Now, in the last thing is I fell a little behind this. Again, I'm catching up with a lot of this stuff here. So here,
Yes.
I
NPM
npm start, right?
Not yet.
Start.
NPM R. Well, let's install the packages. NPM I. Then Axios and React Router DOM. Those are the two packages we want to install.
Axios, React.
Yep. And then these are dashes between them. React Router DOM. Enter there.
Like so.
That's right clicking stuff now.
Yeah, he's I welcome to the right click world, sir. And then
Growing up
Right-click
on
dragon.
growing up with a Mac mouse that only has the one clicker,
Mhm.
that ruined me.
Yeah, I can see that. You didn't know the power of the right click, the right mouse button.
I didn't know that a mouse had two buttons.
so really
Mine
quick,
has
what did I
10.
what did I just do? By the way?
So after that, you also, so now just to run it, just do npm start. But later, after we get off the call, what you can do is you want to go to Font Awesome's website and install get the commands from there too, and run them. You could also grab them from the video later.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll also want to install Font Awesome, but you can just go to the Font Awesome website to grab those. For now, do npm start, just make sure it works.
I'm going to do Font Awesome.
Google search, Google Font Awesome React. Hold on, Google Font Awesome React. That'll be faster. If you just go to Font Awesome, you'll have to search for it. If you Google Font Awesome React, it'll give it to you right away.
Right.
It's upset about something. Oh, no, it isn't. It compiled. Never mind. It's happy.
Font Awesome React here, and then just Google Docs.
Mhm. Yep, the very first one. React Font Awesome. Yep, and then scroll down to get started. Copy that first block.
Right here.
Yep, just copy it, the copy button on the right.
Oh. And then, yeah, and then I just wanna put it here, right?
It's that right there, yep, but you gotta kill the app first.
All right.
Yeah, you can't install other packages while the app is running. There you go.
Whoa, what the heck?
It's doing it. It's installing one by one.
Okay. Visual Studio is smart. All right. Or actually,
It bashes.
okay, batches, that's it. And what, okay,
And then just in your package.json file, just scroll up a little bit to make sure it's actually getting them. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up.
I'm all
They're
right.
at. So yep, they're adding. Good. So just make sure it adds all three and then we're good. You're good to go. That's all we did. We haven't made any changes to the site yet.
Okay,
Yep, we just installed packages and moved our components over.
cool, and then we'll catch up from there. All right.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll practice more with this. Thank you so much for catching up.
No problem.
All right, see you tomorrow then.
See ya. You good, Manny?
I gotta stop sharing it.
Yeah, I was just watching.
Okay, cool. Make sure you didn't have a question for me before I ended it. I was about to end it. I was like, oh, Manny's still here. Make sure he's good. All right, cool. Good night, you two.
Good night.
See you tomorrow.